Hey YouTubers, this is Mark Henry coming to you from my patio once again. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you all today about three terms that I think is important to understand and gain knowledge of so that there isn't any misunderstandings when you're communicating. And the three terms are Wicca, Witchcraft, and Sorcery. Okay, so let's get started. Wicca is a neo-pagan religion that began, I'd say, in the mid-20th century, and was supposed to be part of an older tradition that was in Europe, England, Scotland, and Irish. So if you ever hear about Celtic Wicca, something of that nature, that's what we're talking about. Now, Wicca is a religion. So you have, in this religion, you have people who are using ritual in order to connect with the gods and goddesses of whatever tradition that they are adhering to, the Lord and the Lady, and that sort of thing. Next term is witchcraft. So witchcraft is a style of magic that uses natural means, so we're talking about herbs, incense, various other things, the elements, in order to create a magical effect. So it is a style of magic. Now, lest you think that when I'm talking about witchcraft, I'm only talking about the European stuff, I'm here to tell you that I took a course in parapsychology in college, and we talked a lot about in that class Navajo witchcraft. So when we're talking about witchcraft, we're talking about, again, the natural ways of creating the effect. In that specific area, it was the Native American use of witchcraft, using magic in order to create what they want. Okay, so the third term is sorcery. Now, sorcery is an overall term that it talks about the use of magic in order to create a magical effect, and it's all practical magic. And it could be witchcraft. It can be the sorcerer could connect with the Orishas of Santeria. They could try to connect with the Loa of voodoo. It could practice hoodoo. It doesn't matter. They would use anything and everything that works. So it's very practical. Now, why are we talking about this in general? Why did I just define these terms for you? I'm defining these terms because in this specific time period, and I think in the United States, I'm not sure about the rest of the world, there's a very much an anti-intellectual component to, or trend that is going on, so that, you know, it's okay for me to define my word, witch, or whatever, the way that I want it, and you can define it how you want it. Now, that's all fine and good until we start talking about witches or witchcraft, and then we're going to very quickly come to some type of disagreement. That's the consequence of doing that. Because we're going to have some of these misunderstandings, because you're going to have one idea in your head about witches. I'm going to have my idea in my head about what witches is, and it's going to take us time to sort that out. There is a common thread in epistemology, the study of knowledge, which says that whenever you want to intelligently discuss something, two people have to have a standard definition that they can agree on in order to move forward. But you can't do that when your different terms are understood by different people. So I'm throwing that out there. So people are using these terms interchangeably, which is not exactly okay if you want to have a good discussion about things. Now, I think one reason why the terms get confused, and I think this is okay. This is kind of a natural extension of just people being people, is that someone might self-identify as more than one. So, for example, you can have somebody who is a sorcerer. Okay, so I practice magic, practical magic, and as part of that, I practice witchcraft. Well, you see, those two things fit. They can call themselves a sorcerer, they can call themselves a witch. And then again, you can have somebody who is Wiccan, who practices the art of connecting with their gods and goddesses, and also do the magical element of witchcraft. And that being said, just to complicate the matter a bit, you can do one of these and each one doesn't have to do anything else with the other. So you can have somebody who's a sorcerer and they don't practice witchcraft at all. They may just practice 3 or 4 different things to get what they want done, and that's it. You can have a Wiccan who just is interested in developing a relationship with the gods and goddesses, but they don't do magic. And you can have a witch who's interested in just a specific style of magic and not be interested in the religion of Wicca and not be interested in branching out into sorcery. So that can work out too. Also, a word that's thrown out a bit is the word warlock. So just to let you know, warlock doesn't have a strong presence as a word in older texts on magic. It's mentioned once in a while in old texts. It refers, warlock means oath breaker. So this was somebody who, according to what we know, has a reputation for a coven sharing the secrets with a specific somebody, and they go and tell the other covens. So it is somebody who would be more like a betrayer. So if you're familiar with the Gospels of Jesus, this would be like a Judas type of person. So this is not a nice thing when people say that they're a warlock. So if you are self-identifying as a warlock, know what you're identifying as. Because if other people know what a warlock means, they're not going to trust you. Okay? So please keep that in mind. All right, so that is my information I wanted to share for today. Remember that I am on Patreon. I mentioned that in a video. In case you want to check that out, please like and subscribe to my videos. I really appreciate it. And check out my book on Amazon, Dancing with Energy, Healing, Magic, and Mysticism. So, as a final note, if any of y'all are interested in a subject that I have not talked about yet, please comment on that subject. I'd be more than happy to do a video specifically for you if it's within my knowledge base. I'm not going to make anything up, but if it's something that I can deliver, I'd be more than happy to do a video for you on that subject. So, peace out. See you later.